Hi, this is Antoinette, and you are watching Trans Sister Rodeo, where we round up the news stories for you. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about the DNC. I hate the DNC. The DNC sucks. You guys suck so much. It's astounding how much suckage is coming out of the DNC. I mean, don't even get me started on the shenanigans of the election. I will be forthcoming in saying that should have been Bernie. We all know it should have been Bernie, and we definitely know that Bernie Sanders would have kicked the shit out of Donald Trump. It wouldn't have been a contest. It wouldn't have been close. So what's wrong with the DNC? They don't stand for anything. They got nothing. They got platitudes. They got stronger together, and I'm with her, and I'm not him. You cannot run a campaign on, we're not that bad. If that's your I know, right? It's hilarious. If that's your topic, if that's your idea, we're not as bad as him, we're not going to go for you. One of my heroes is Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks, and he always says this, and he's absolutely right. They run strong Republicans and they run weak Democrats. These days, Democrats are basically Republican light. That's what Hillary Clinton was. Hillary Clinton was Republican light. Instead of going more towards her base, going after those Bernie bros, a condescending term, the Bernie bros. I love Bernie Sanders. I'm not a Bernie bro, okay? You're an asshole. DNC, you guys are terrible. They had an interview recently, well, it was a few weeks back, it was after the election, where they asked Nancy Pelosi what she was going to do. And our lovely Congresswoman, the House Minority Leader from California, she said that we don't need to change. Everything is fine. We'll make it up in the next election. You don't need to change. You really don't think anything needs to change. They put Donald Trump in office. This orange Cheeto, this Donnie Tiny Hands, this Donald Trump, what was this? I love this one. Trumple Thin Skin, that guy. We put him in office. That's got to tell you something is wrong, that your platform is not good. You know, we have Hillary Clinton not going to the Rust Belt. Guess where she loses? The Rust Belt. I'm pretty sure this is not rocket science. But, you know, Hillary's transition team, her campaign team is telling her, oh, this is fine, and this is fine, and this is fine. It's not fine. It is not fine. You have to talk to your people. Right now, we've got Bernie Sanders out there who is still, he lost the election. He's got nothing to lose, man. I mean, he's still our senator. He's still Vermont senator. But he's out there talking to people, listening to them, finding out what the problems are. You know, recently he went to a district in West Virginia. It is red country out there, West Virginia. It's coal miner country. Some hard-working, blue-collar people out there. Bernie Sanders, a socialist. Oh, I get my air quotes in, my Donald Trump air quotes. He tapped my phone. Sorry. But he went out there. And he's talking to these people, and they're telling him how frustrated they are with the situation. He's listening to him. They're applauding him. He's saying single payer. He's saying Medicare for all, and they love him. The DNC does not stand for anything. All they do is talk in platitudes. We're going to follow our values. Well, what are those values? Well, the values that we have. Well, what do you plan on doing? We're going to get jobs. We're going to get good jobs. Well, how are you going to get those jobs? We're going to find them. We're in the job place. They got job places all over the place. We're going to find those jobs and we're going to make them available for you. Because that's what the DNC do. Right there. That's what they do. So they don't stand for anything. They keep losing. Let's go down the list. Okay. They lost the presidency. They didn't have the majority in the House, but they don't have that anymore. They did. 2008, 2010 has supermajority. Now we're on the other side of this. 7 years later. Here we are. 6 years later, actually. 5 years later. What the hell am I talking about? Oh, let's do some math here. 2010, they lost it. From 2008 to now. They had a supermajority, and now they've lost the House. They've lost the Senate. They've lost the presidency. They lost over 900 state legislature seats. 70% of the governors and legislatures in this country are Republican now. And Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer don't feel like there's a problem. Nancy Pelosi says we don't need to change anything, and Chuck Schumer ain't saying shit. Recently, we had the DNC chair was up for grabs, and it looked like Keith Ellison had it in the bag. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with everything that Keith Ellison says, but he was definitely leaning more towards the progressive side of things. And that was a good thing, because if he'd have won, that would have been the olive branch. The DNC is always saying to the progressive side, the Bernie side of the Democratic Party, they're always saying, let's just put all that behind us and combine forces. No. They don't want to combine forces. They want you to shut up and submit. Stick with the Democratic platform. We had a chance to get Keith Ellison, and it looked like he was a lock. Even Chuck Schumer. Mr. Donation himself said, okay, I'm behind Keith Ellison as an olive branch. What happened? All of a sudden, Obama and the corporate Democratic side, they said, I'm not really feeling Keith Ellison right now. He's a little bit too progressive. I don't know if I could like those progressives because I love that sweet, sweet donor cash. Oh, hook me up. It's always the same principle. It's always the same problem. What is the problem? Money. Money in politics. Look, we know that the Republicans are bought and paid for, okay? They are owned outright by corporate America and the oil lobby. They are owned. Big Pharma owns the Republicans. Those guys, easy to figure out. They make a decision, you go, oh, let's see, I wonder who donated to them. Was it the Koch brothers? Gee whiz, wow. Of course. But the DNC, let's say that the Republicans are 100% corrupt, because they are 100% corrupt. They are beyond corrupted, But by that same token, the DNC, 80% corrupt. Easy, 80%. Now, when that the Republicans are bought and paid for and the Democrats are not, then they have moral high ground. And they stand for the people. They stand for better trade agreements. They would stand for a living wage. $15 an hour, a living wage tied to inflation. Minimum wage used to be tied to inflation until 1968, and then all of a sudden Nixon decides, hey, why don't we just give them a bump and then not raise them anymore? And then we get stuck with this shitty minimum wage system that we have. And they never want to increase it. Ever want to increase it. Democrats would have principles, and they would be fighting for the people, for people's rights, for union rights, for workers' rights. We got to a point where it's all right to work state, which sounds really good, but it means anti-union. It's really frustrating because I want to vote Democratic, but they're not Democrats anymore. They are shills for their corporate donors. They don't care about you. Are you donating to them other than that $3 that they send you, that ubiquitous email? Donate anything you can. We need that money, baby. We need that money. The DNC does not care about you. No matter how much you want it to, they care about their donors. It's just the way it is, the way the political system is set up. And we are now not voting for Democrats and Republicans. We are voting, I mean, it's bad enough that we only have two, parties to choose from, What's the worst system? Fascism? They have one choice. We got two. It's awesome. I love two times. It's bad enough that we get the two, but now we have Republican and Republican light. Ever since Bill Clinton, who I have lots of bad things to say about Bill Clinton, he certainly had a really nice voice, though, didn't he? He made the ladies swoon with that old Southern, "How you doing? I sound like Elvis a little bit." But ever since Bill Clinton, they became Republican light. They started going for, the more moderate conservatives instead of going for their base, and trying to fight for what their base wants. They don't want that. They go for the moderate Republican because they get the most donor dollars. Hillary Clinton made a buttload of money in donations. I do not have any love for this woman. I do not. I think Hillary Clinton, it was definitely go down in history as the shittiest presidential candidate. Two-time loser. Somebody was floating the idea about her running for 2020. I even heard somebody say something about her running for mayor in New York. No! Stay the fuck out of my town, okay? Bad enough as it is, we got de Blasio. I do not want, de Blasio squared, because that's what Hillary Clinton would be. So they don't want to change. They want to keep taking that sweet cash, and they don't care about you. I mean, I really wish that Bernie would start his own party, just call it the Progressive Party, because there's so many little factions all over this country. I guarantee you they jump behind that. And that would be a huge percentage. I'd say probably at least 30% of the Democrats would get behind that. That would be a force to contend with. And, that's just a start. We need to get cash out of our election system. It's the only way anything's ever going to get done, because as long as there's money, there's bribery. As long as there's people who are willing to lobby for their own special interest, they're going to go against your special interest. You just want to live your life. We want some health care. We want some good education. Whether it's vocational or it's a state school. We want a living wage. These are all really simple things. And, there's a few countries on the planet have already done it. Just a couple. I'm pretty sure that we are the only nation on this planet, only industrialized, civilized nation on this planet that does not offer free health care. And we always say the word free. And that's a talking point for Republicans. They just want free stuff. Free, free, free. What did Mitt Romney call them? The takers. The takers, yeah. They're always taking. But you pay taxes, okay? You get your K through 12 paid for because you pay taxes. You have drivable roads because you have paid taxes. You have police officers. You have sewage. You have fire department. All of these because you pay taxes. It's not free. You're already paying for it. A little bit more of a percentage out of your paycheck, yeah, it might sting a little bit. But think about the other side of it, where you don't have to think about health care. You are making more money because you're making a living wage. You are spending more of your money in your own community, which thereby makes other businesses in the community more successful, and everybody strives to be better. And a high tide raises all ships. These are simple ideas. And the Republicans are not fighting these ideas because they're bad ideas. They're fighting these ideas because it takes money out of their pocket, their donor money. And the Democrats are just as bad. They have no moral high ground. They have no talking points. They have no policy. People loved Bernie Sanders because all the man ever talked was policy. I mean, he's got 7 talking points. And I could sit there and listen to that old Jew all day long. I tell you. I know that sounded racist, and I'm just going to just say it right now. I love Bernie Sanders. It's got nothing to do with him he's just an old Jewish man, okay? Great guy. But I can sit there and listen to him all day. The 1%ers. Bernie, you give me goosebumps with your 7 talking points. But he's right. We just want those little things. Those little things that would make our lives easier. Trust me, an app to help you find a Pokemon is not what we want. These are not things that we need. We need healthcare. We need living wage. We need the Democrats to stand up and fight for us. They're not doing it. And we seem to be okay with it. Just letting it go. We need to wake up. Hey, this is Antoinette from Trans Sister Rodeo. If you like what you saw here, please subscribe for more videos and content. And you can follow me on Twitter at Trans Sister Rodeo.